guys? What is going on? What is good? Hope you guys are having a solid day today. If I can find the transition, there we go. What up? What up? What's Gucci gang? Willow's here first today. Welcome, Lewis, Naruto, Lamad, Ali, Trillionaire, Josh, Jose. What's poppin'? What is good? What is good? Oh, so Lewis was enjoying the music. I thought you were opposed to the music. If I could, I would play the music that I want to play, but you know, they'll hit you with the copyright and all that, and then you know it's just not good. I don't want that. What's good, Maximiliano? Smooth's blessed today. Music got me hype. I like that. I like that. What do I want to play? You guys wouldn't like the music that I would play. Most of you wouldn't like it. You'd be like, John, what the fuck? What are you listening to? I told you guys about a band called Currents. I've been listening to them on repeat for a while. They put out an album, I think, earlier this month. And it's been solid. But they scream a lot, and you guys might not like that. So I think we did have this conversation recently as well. But I think today was a pretty good day for shorts. I ended up only paper trading today, and I'll tell you kind of what took place. And if we don't have anything popping off here in the afternoon, then I guess I'll give you maybe a lesson or something. If not, I'll save the lesson for Thursday. But what I used to do a lot was, you know, after I taught pretty much everything that I believe is, you know, basics or like intermediate, when it got to the advanced stuff, I would bring out a new lesson when that particular phenomenon had occurred. Like, for example, there was multiple streams I did on re-entering the market without revenge, right? And today was kind of one of those days where I papered it, so, you know, full disclosure, it wasn't a live account or anything like that, but it was a scenario where I went long, I got stopped out, then I went short, and then got my loss back plus more. So I feel like that's an easy lesson to do, to give you guys on, you know, how to re-enter the market without revenge, and also probably a separate lesson, but you could combine the two together, is switching your bias. So, I mean, it's really advanced stuff, and it's not for, you know, beginners and everything. So guys, drop a like if you would want me to do a lesson on one of those two things, on re-entering the market without revenge or being able to switch your bias. So right now, I think the only thing we have on the table for today, this form just before we started actually, is the equal highs at 41.22.5. So we have the full afternoon. We have the next 3 hours, a little, like, slightly less than 3 hours, but you know, a number of things could happen today. So if you didn't take anything this morning, or if you didn't take anything during lunch, I'll, you know, I'm not gonna tell you to live trade. I would never do that, but I want to see if we can get, you know, some sort of movement for this afternoon. I'm not gonna promise that we're gonna duplicate what we did yesterday. You know, yesterday was awesome. Yesterday was super fun, and that I wish we could do on every single stream. You know, but it's all gravy. We're gonna work with what we can. Since some of the music you play in your AM sessions until I wake, set my head. Oh yeah. Honestly, that's probably the only song I like by them. I don't know why. I don't know how long they've been around, but I feel like their sound is kind of young. I don't know how to explain it. Like, they're okay, but they're not my favorite. So, and then of course, someone's got to mow the fucking lawn right when we start streaming. Trillionaire said I did that today. First took an L on Dow, then came back with a big win on S&P. Thanks for the gems. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, I mean, I guess we can try and do both. We can try and watch the market and, you know, see what takes place, and I'll try and explain what I did here in the greatest detail. So, when I woke up this morning, which again was another late day, it is what it is. We're not going to talk about it. But I'm kind of glad as well, because I feel like this morning was definitely sloppy, at least from the exchange open. I mean, we had almost no movement. We had almost no movement above the open. We just sank, rallied, and then we just been on this downtrend. So I would have been very reluctant to trade anything in that. Personally, I would have not done anything there. 5-minute time frame. I mean, same thing. I mean, it to me, you know, if I'm looking for a short above the open, it never gives that. It just straight sinks lower. So, okay, what am I supposed to do with that? If there's nothing to do, there's nothing to do. So I'm glad I definitely slept in today. That was pretty awesome. So the reason I went on paper today is because I ended up forcing a long position. All right. And so I wasn't willing to take it live. So, and I was wrong in the analysis. I was wrong on the assumption. And given this 5-minute candle, I should have looked at that a little bit more clear anyway, but it's fine. So low, high, lower low. So when we left this at 10:20, and then at the time, this was a bullish candle here. Before it printed bearish, you know, before it printed a down candle, it was bullish, you know, up to that point. So during that, I went, okay, you know, there might be an imbalance here, and there might be a mitigation there as well. So I'm like, all right, well, that could be an overlap of a mitigation as well as a imbalance. Okay, so it hits there, and so again, I longed on paper. Okay, like right in here. So I'm watching it, and price does nothing for, you know, probably 10-12 minutes or so, and then all of a sudden you get this 10:43 candle, and it just dumps lower, so it stops me out. I'm like, okay, well, I'm wrong then. So I'm like, all right, but I'm gonna get it back though, because, you know, I want to get it back. You know what I mean? But not in the sense of revenge, okay? Because again, for those of you that hopped on late, this was a paper trade. It was a paper account. There was no money involved, so there's no emotional, you know, involvement. So it's not like a revenge trade. I'm not trying to get back anything because it was nothing to lose in the first place. But from a price action standpoint, I want to explain why. All right. So with that sinking lower like that, all right, I was wrong on the assumption for longs. So if the market isn't going to trade higher, we end up trading 10:44. We create almost equal lows, and then we rally. So I shorted on the way up here, and my stop was just above this high. Okay. Now, why above this high? Because there is some level of protection here. Okay. There was a lesson I did 2 years ago. And I wanted to teach fractals, and I wanted to teach institutional candles. For whatever reason, 2 years ago, I decided to combine that lesson, right? I combined that lesson and said, look, I'm going to teach you institutional candles and fractals. All right, at the same time. So it's very simple. It's very easy. It's not anything that's super difficult. We'll come back to the live analysis in just a minute. Okay. Now a fractal, some people use 3, some people use 5, whatever. Okay. That was one of the first lessons, if not the first. Yeah, I think so. It was such a long time ago. I don't remember. But anyway, it's just a 3 or 5 candle formation. Okay. Looks kind of like that. All right. Now this is a bearish fractal because price would have come up. All right. The candle in the middle has the highest high. So that means there's a lower high to the left and a lower high to the right. Simple 3-bar fractal. I typically like 5 better, but you can do 3 as well if you want. So it's either 3 or 5. It's up to you. Do what you want to do. Okay. Not financial advice. I'm just here to give you my opinion. So if you combine, all right, if you have a candle formation here and probably the highest one or the one prior to it, whatever, one of these may be an up candle. Okay, so we'll make it green so just so that way you guys understand that this is an up close candle. Okay, so something like that happens where the market forms a up candle, whether it's part of the fractal or not, and then the market sells off. Okay, when I look for shorting, okay, I'm taking that candle and I'm drawing out the bodies. And we'll just, I don't know, we'll just make them green then. Okay. So whatever that price is on the bodies. Okay. So if price comes back up, because sometimes it doesn't, but if it comes back up, I'm looking to short that. And my protection is this up candle. And my stop is usually going to the high of the fractal. Okay, so whatever that high is, that's going to be my stop loss. Okay, so what's the logic behind that? When I place a stop loss, okay, it is essentially, not that we're going to get into stop loss placement today, Adidas, right? What we're going to not do is stop loss placement, but the reason that the stop is there is because price would essentially have to push past likely an imbalance and an up candle and then the fractal high. And if that happens, that just means you're wrong on the analysis. Okay. So there is essentially a form of protection here. Okay. So now keep this in mind. And I know the drawings are simple. Price is never like this specifically. Okay. But I need to give you a visual so you understand why my stop was above this high, because now you look at it. All right. So what takes place? That 1043 candle that stopped me out here, right? That's a vicious candle. That's not a casual candle. Okay. That's violent. So it's like, all right, we left this gap right here. This is a fractal high. Right? Because what's happening right here, that same drawing, right? Where you have the candle in the middle, the candle to the left is lower, and the candle to the right is lower, right? 3-bar formation right here, or 5. Okay, if you want to extend it to 5, again, it's up to you. But either way, if there's 3, there's likely 5. All right. So you have a fractal high here, and I don't do this anymore. I used to do this for visual purposes, but I felt like the best visual was a triangle, because it's almost like a triangle formation. Okay. So just Ali and any others, students of mine, if you ever wondered why, that's why. Okay. So you don't have an up candle within this fractal. You don't have that. What's good, Nikki? You don't have a up candle within that fractal, but you do have an up candle right here. Okay, so what do you notice about that? You remember yesterday on the Dow? You remember how precise that was yesterday? And we wanted to see price run away. Well, look what happens here. Up candle, fractal, and you have a gap within that. You have equal highs right here. So what is price doing here? It's trading above the equal highs. It's trading into that gap, and it's trading into this up candle. So when I was shorting, okay, my stop was right at that high, okay? And it never gets there. Never even comes close. About like maybe four ticks. Well, 1 point, maybe 4 ticks, 5 ticks, maybe something like that. Okay. But what does it do? It automatically rejects that big time. Big time. Right? And then what does it run for? These lows here. Ran our highs. It ran our highs right here. That's all right. It wasn't really a retracement, at least on a 1 minute time frame. But all right, there those highs have been met. But we didn't do anything with that. That's okay. All right, so anyway, back to the point. When I longed here, I got stopped out. I shorted this candle. I shorted this candle, okay, with my stop here. So as soon as it came into that gap, I wanted to short it again, but I didn't. I just left it alone. Price dropped down. It rallies up. Another imbalance. I shorted that. And then boom, covered here. Okay. As a matter of fact, I will log in just to show you. Okay. So the two longs, and I'm going to delete all this because it's getting really messy. But here's what that looks like. Okay. So I longed in there. Okay. Stopped out. I think it was down here. All right. So went long, got stopped out. Then I went short. Then I went short again. Then I went short again here. And then covered there. And then covered there. Majority of position, I left the small piece on and got stopped out, break even on that. All right. So if I just showed you this randomly, like if I opened the stream and this is what we had right here, you would not understand any of this. You'd be like, why did you long that? You know, why did you short here and right there and right there? Like it doesn't make logical sense just on a 1 minute time frame. But that's the thing. That's why I tried to walk you through this, because I was wrong on the assumption that we would trade higher. Then we ended up creating lows, right? But look at how we traded lower. It was violent. Okay. So this gap right here was the ideal short, but I didn't know if it was just going to trade up into this, leave that gap there, and then just trade lower. So I got in a little bit early, and then I took a late entry, and then boom, covered most of that there. Stopped out, break even here. All right. So what is the lesson in that? Well, if you're wrong being bullish, if price happens to be bearish, then you can take a bearish setup. And a lot of the times when I do this, I actually don't try to get I don't usually try to get a win on the day. I usually try to get the loss back, and then that's it. And I'd rather just take the break even. Now, if there's an extended move, then yeah, I'll get the loss back and then I'll get a little bit more, and that's blessed. But it's essentially going, okay, I'm wrong. I need to switch my bias now. But there has to be proof, though. You don't just switch your bias just because you happen to be wrong. Because price could have stopped me out and then, you know, ran my direction, then retracement, and then ran higher. So I could have just been wrong on the timing aspect, but that wasn't the case. I was just wrong altogether. It wasn't long, like, at all. Okay. So does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? Why we would do that? Or is it still a little bit confusing? And to be fair, I have no idea what we're going to do this afternoon. Makes sense. Crystal clear. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I don't try and do that a lot, but you know, today I felt like it was a decent opportunity to do that. So overall, short-term highs swept, and then the continuation lower, and then that's that. Like that's it. So I still feel like maybe we could be bullish, but it's really hard to say. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is turn all of this off, because there's gonna be old data in here too, and there's just gonna be fucking arrows all over the place. Looking at a higher time frame, there's gonna be arrows literally taking up the screen, so I don't want to do anything with that. Let me see. As far as being bullish, it's hard to say, man. The lows from May 12th could be on the table. I think we're at an interesting place though for the S&P. I think the Dow is lower, right? It's making a significantly lower low, and then the Nasdaq is still higher, and I think it's trading into this imbalance here. So it is hard to say. On a daily, they are super mixed right now, and I'm not entirely sure. But one more thing as well, I forgot to put the member goal up here. I'm pretty sure we're at 45 FOMC minutes in 35 minutes. Oh, is that true? Is that true? Did I forget to look today? Oh, you're right. It's in 30 minutes. That explains the earlier movement today. That explains that. Those about to get taken. Yeah, that's true. What's true? That they're mixed. That they're very, very mixed. Yeah, this looks terrible. I mean, look at this 5 minute. This looks awful. This looks totally like doo-doo. Did we just create highs again? Did we just create another set of equal highs? Jesus. Eesh. We have some lows down in here too. I mean, that's our current low of the day during lunch. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see some whipsaw, huh? For meeting minutes. The 8 hour. I don't know about an 8 hour chart. What's good, Techno? FOMC minutes. You said that is true. Oh. All right. Makes sense. It makes sense. Well, I guess we'll hang out for a bit then. Then at 1 o'clock, we'll see what the meeting minutes does. Oh shit, that reminds me. British pound. We'll give you an update on British pound, because we did talk about the 124.37 or 38 level. I told you to look for that yesterday. We traded actually well above that, about another 30 pips past that actually. That wasn't bad. And those lows in here, I told you that were still open. We ended up coming back for that too. So if you happen to be bullish, I wouldn't have stayed bullish for very long. So yeah, that idea from the mitigation here, it worked, but look how long it took for price to do that. I mean, that was rough. So I mean, it still hit the upside. It still triggered the alert if you put one there, which is cool, but I think it did it very sloppy, like like it wasn't all that great. And then funny enough, the euro had almost no upside at all, right? Like you saw a British pound just rally up prior to London, and euro was like, nah, fuck that. So severe weakness on the side of euro, at least at that particular point in price action. GBP USD, nice sell. Oh, we got a little spike in viewers. That's nice. Might be for meeting minutes, maybe. But welcome everyone. I'm glad you guys are here. If it's your first time, welcome. But if it is matter of fact, if it is your first time, you should check out a lot of the videos on the channel. You can learn a lot of stuff for free. So yeah, I mean, I guess there's really not anything to do then until probably post meeting minutes. Actually, the ES has the equal highs, the micro doesn't. But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait for meeting minutes and then see what we do. I wouldn't recommend live trading the meeting minutes, but I feel like if we do get a setup, I might take it on paper just for the fun of it. So let's put that on our chart as well. The 1 o'clock meeting minutes in 29 minutes. What's good? D Mang Rich 14. What up, man? You said British pound had a nice. You know what? It did. I was looking at this earlier to see like what was what from up here. And I want to say this was clean during London though. And again, I'm not up for London. If you guys are, this was solid in here. Okay. Now, obviously that's hindsight because I wasn't up for this, but the lows that I gave you here, that one, and that, because that's like the lower one here, that's at 124.07. But if you notice, all right, this imbalance here, it forms right as price is breaking structure. I mean, it damn near goes to 24.07, but it doesn't hit that. So it shows that willingness to trade lower. Then it rallies into that imbalance before the liquidity run. And I have taught that before as well. There's this really common phenomenon that you'll notice just before liquidity runs. So I'm not talking about like the manipulation or, you know, anything, the reversal, like the low risk sell, the fucking, you know, whatever. I'm talking about the 90% of the move has happened or 80% of the move has happened already. And it's like a super scalping idea. That's right here. Okay. It's essentially the last imbalance before the run. Okay. So that is actually seen here. Now that's not really a large number of pips. That's like 20, 25 pips or so. But, you know, if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, that was up here. It does come back into that, spends a lot of time there, and then it takes off. So, you know, if you held on a piece or just held on the full position, then yeah, today you were rocking it. But wasn't up for that, and I probably wouldn't have held on that entire move anyway. That's just me. But it does come down to take those lows from yesterday, or the lows that were created yesterday. So yeah, I would agree. British pound had some pretty good shorts in there. At least on a 5 minute. The 15 minute looks kind of janky, but the 5 minute was pretty clean in there. That's pretty cool. If you want to watch meeting minutes for, I guess, the currencies, I don't know what we're going to do here, but these are some lows that may or may not be taken. Not sure. And I'll give you an update for silver as well. So, you know, it's one thing to say, hey, you know, British pound hit, the other indices hit. And to be fair, silver did not, because I think we did talk about 23.92 as a potential, and that was never hit. So for full disclosure, yeah, British pound was great. I don't know what else we were looking for besides silver, and that didn't hit. So, you know, there's an update on that. So if you're gonna be, you know, out in public, you don't wanna hide what you got wrong. If you got it wrong, you got it wrong. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I didn't trade silver, so there's no monetary loss there, but I got it wrong. So it is what it is. All right. It's hard to say for gold as well. Maybe lower, but I don't really see anything for today's news that's gonna, you know, launch us to that. Oh, look at that shit. We took the highs already. Man, that's crazy. That's just so interesting how we created equal highs, then ran them, and then with the run on the first equal highs, we created a second set, and then now we're above that as well. So that's always interesting to see. And then look at NASDAQ. This is gross. This is gross. There aren't like clear highs. Because I wouldn't really consider those either. I mean, I guess you have them there, but that was just tapped into right now. So yeah, as far as predicting what we're gonna do for meeting minutes, oh, who knows? Who knows? I would prefer to have something that is clear and obvious, and I don't think we have that. So 41.14 could be a downside objective, but it is fucking hard to say. Let's look at the SPY real quick on the daily, because you know what? If we look at a 1 hour, 408.87 is low. The low from May 10th and May 12th. So we might trade lower, and there's a gap below that as well. So if I had to say, if I was short from yesterday or this morning, if I was still in something, which again, I'm not, full disclosure, I'm not in anything right now, at least on the future side, I'm not. I think I would hold through meeting minutes to see if it does jam down below 408.87. So which in turn, that would be lower for ES. And I'm assuming that the low 12th and the 10th is here. And if we swap over to regular trading hours, right? Allie knows all about the trading hours, right? That would put us at 41.11.5 for ES. So what do you guys think? Let me catch up on the chat real quick. Take a short term, long. Didn't come back to the 4-minute gap and imbalance. 4 minute. Man, you guys look at some weird ass time frames. I ain't mad at you, but it's interesting. You got someone said 8 hours, someone said 4 minute. Like, It's interesting how, you know, we all have our own spin on things. But yeah, I never look at a 4 minute or an 8 hour. And this is traded lower 13 out of 15 last New York sessions. Stole that info, but it's good info. I mean, I don't really look at stuff like that. That's more quantitative analysis, and I don't trust quantitative analysis. Helps me see certain things clearer. I mean, I'm not saying to not do that. Okay. I'm not telling you, hey, don't trade 3 minute, 4 minute time frames. Because the thing is, that would go against what I teach you guys. And I teach you guys that price is fractal. So if one thing happens on a small time frame, it's going to happen on every time frame, right? So if I told you, hey, don't trade a 4 minute or don't trade an 8 hour, that would go against the very thing that I teach you. So I wouldn't tell you to do that. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put an alert at 4111 and a half. And then, but I'm gonna switch back to electronic trading hours. It just looks slightly different. Because that low is right there, which is weird, but it still puts us below the low of May 12th. So we'll see. But the caveat to that, or at least not the caveat, but the flip side to that as well, is that gap from this morning, you know, on SPY at least, we have that huge gap up here. So I could see it going lower. I could also see it maybe trading higher, or vice versa. It may go higher first and then lower, or lower first and then higher. And to be honest, I'm not going to tell you either one because I don't fucking know. And I don't have like a solid confidence in either way. But I guess if I had to pick a direction, I think it would be lower. If I was forced to press a button, it would be lower. When do you switch to electronic trading hours? I mean, I don't, you know, Ali asked me this yesterday too. It's just, I usually don't. It's just, I usually look at SPY. Okay. So SPY is the ETF, and that's going to give you the S&P 500, but on the ETF basis. So when you see that, I can switch back to ES and go, okay, well, there's that. But this is usually going to be not on regular. It's usually going to be on electronic trading hours. So sometimes I don't switch at all. Sometimes I'll just go, oh, well, ES has this, and I can confirm that on SPY, or this one up here, whatever. You know what I mean? So I don't always switch it like that, but you can if you want to. It is one less button though. I know that sounds crazy, but it's two buttons here. You got to press it, session, regular, versus just swapping between SPY and ES. So it's up to you. Everything that you ever do is always going to be up to you. All right. But anyways, so we got about 16 minutes or so until we get our meeting minutes. So I don't want to keep swapping charts and time frames and all that. I'll just keep us on a 5 minute here and then leave it at that. But that's the 4111 level. That's where that is derived from. Okay. And then that's it. If there are traders who are looking to buy a breakout, which I do not do, 41.35, if you round up, that could have buy stops above that. So I'm going to label that as well. We'll do the top left. Okay. So why would buy stops be there? Well, number one, breakout traders. But number two is, what's the predominant focus for today? Here's 8:30, and here's where we are right now. So what has taken place today? It's been bearish. Okay, well, up to the last 30 minutes or so. But we opened here, we've traded lower, we rallied, and then we traded lower again, right? So anyone who's been short, whether from yesterday, whether from London, right? Look at all the London traders right now. London traders, let me see. London was about right here. Okay, so London's been bearish, right? So anyone who's holding a position from up here, you know, they're holding short. Screenshot curse is probably kicking in, you know, and they're going, oh, you know, look at that. We're killing it right now. Okay, wherever their stop is, you know, imagine them taking it, dragging it lower. When price made a lower low here, I could see why they would drag it down to this high. You see what I'm saying? So if they're short, their stop loss is going to be in the form of a buy stop, okay, or a buy limit, possibly. Okay, so that's the only distinctive high that we have today. So if it's obvious to you, it's going to be obvious to everyone else. So that may or may not be tagged. So we will watch it. Any other questions that you guys have today? It's an open chat for subs. For subs, it's not a member-only chat today. But I will tell you what. The current member goal is 50. I'm pretty sure we're at 45 because I don't think YouTube has updated today or last night. And I think like 3 of you got a membership last night on the session, and I think 1 or 2 earlier in the day. So I don't think YouTube has updated today. So right now it tells me 42, but I'm pretty sure it's 45 or 46. But as soon as we get to 50, as soon as we get to 50, the sessions that are on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the evening time, so those are the 7 p.m. Eastern ones, those 2 moving forward are going to be member only streams, period. So that means it's not going to be chat. It's going to be, you can't watch it unless you're a member. All right. So there's that. I didn't put my phone on airplane mode. Now it's ringing. So all the scam calls are coming in. So that's always nice. Getting scam calls all day. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Am I telling you to move your stop? Absolutely not. Your trade is your trade. Your trade is definitely your trade. I'm just trying to see, you know, what is taking place, and maybe some of the logic of what I expect to happen. Because we could have meeting minutes and we may not get super high volatility. I could be wrong. It doesn't have to fly up, grab buy stops, and then rip all their face off and go lower. It doesn't have to do that. It could go lower, or it could do nothing. I mean, it is hard to say, but I do want to give you some logic, right? What has taken place? The day has been currently bearish. So there's a lot of traders right now who are in unrealized gains. A lot of traders who are bearish that are in open profit. Okay. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that it can't continue lower without taking that high. It could leave that high here. Tier 1 or tier 2 only? Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question. I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Elmer, I haven't thought about it. I'll have to come back to you on that because I don't know. You know, I had to figure out what's fair. Oh, you thought I'd say something funny? Look, man, this isn't comedy hour. You know, I'm not a comedian. I probably could be if I wanted to be, but writing jokes is hard. Writing jokes is hard. I'm more of like ironic. I like irony and ridiculousness. Or like, you know, making fun of simple mistakes. Like, oh, like yesterday on Dow. Remember I told you like, oh, if it were me, I'd place my stop above this short-term high, and that short-term high got wrecked and then it went lower. It's like, oh shit. Well, that was goober material, you know? But in all fairness, though, that was like speed analysis. You know what I mean? That wasn't methodical. That was just me being fast. And that's what I get for it. You know, being a goober in that specific aspect. All right, so we're getting a little bit more people on here, but I wonder. You know, I usually don't watch the meeting minutes, and I don't even know how to get that, to be honest. Because every time I go to this Federal Reserve Gov website, there's never a direct link. And all the live shit they don't ever have like embedded in the website. It's always the most previous one. Yeah, see, that was the last one. The one that's embedded on their website is the last one. Or when I went directly to Forex Factory. Is what I'm saying. Because they give you the link. But I'm saying I want to see the live one. The one that's going on like now, not the last one. I don't give a fuck about the last one. I really don't care about any of them, to be honest. I'm more focused on price. But, you know, if we could at least watch it, that'd be cool. Meeting minutes. I mean, I guess some other YouTubers will have it. But every time I try to look at meeting minutes live on someone else's channel, they don't have it. They just have like the price action or whatever, kind of like what I'm doing now. So, but if you guys could find the link to the live session, I'll put it up. Tier 1 to watch, tier 2 to chat. Lewis, that might be a good idea. Or how about this? How about this to make it fair? Because I didn't listen when I made my channel, okay? Well, my YouTube channel I made in 2015, but when I made the memberships, okay, this was never supposed to be part of it. Like the specific live sessions and stuff, that was never supposed to be a part of it. Okay. But now that we're here, I have to figure this shit out. Because to be fair, I don't think, you know, I think $10 a month is fucking. I mean, that almost makes me look bad how fucking cheap that is. But because it wasn't supposed to be for that. But now that we're here, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I think what's fair is tier 1 should get only Tuesdays. And tier 2 should get Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think that's fair because tier 1 is $5 and tier 2 is 10. So it would make perfect sense for tier 2 to get twice as much as tier 1 since you pay twice as much. I mean, is that fair? That's pretty fair to me, right? Exactly, Lewis. Double the price, double the content. But to be fair, 90% of you are tier 2 anyway. There's only a small percentage of people who are tier 1. You should be a judge? Oh, no. Oh, no. You wouldn't want me to be a judge. I couldn't even do it. I'd have to flip the script. I'd have to be like, look, women win like 95% of custody battles. I'm like, we'll flip that shit. Be like, oh, you're a man? Custody. You got it. See ya. You know what I mean? And obviously you can't do that. You know, that would make me look sexist and that wouldn't be fair at all. But, you know, I don't give a fuck. You like to upgrade to tier 2? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, man. No, I wouldn't do that, but I would just look at people like they're stupid. I'd be like, you fucked the, or I bet you fucking robbed a store in broad daylight with cameras. Like, did you, you know, have you been checked for like Down syndrome, bro? Like, what is wrong with you? Why would you do that? I'd have like no professionalism at all. That's why I couldn't be a judge. I'd be like, dude, you're an idiot. You're a goober. Get this goober out of my courtroom. And I'd slam that hammer like every 5 seconds. Order in the courtroom. We need some order up in this biatch. My cousin did that and went to prison for 12 years. He walked out with a cart of cigarettes and $12. Oof. 12 years. Yikes. 2 years for being a goober. Yeah, man. It'd be ridiculous. I'd be whispering like, what the fuck to myself, like all the time. As soon as like the evidence came, you know, play the tape. And I'd be like, oh, what the fuck? Oh, shit. You know, and the microphone would pick that up. People would hear it. I'd be a terrible judge, bro. I would be terrible. All right, anyways, on a more serious note, what's good, Alex? On a more serious note, meeting minutes coming up in like 2 minutes. Less than that, actually. So we'll see if we get some volatility. Remember, keep in mind, 4136 or 4135, excuse me, there's got to be buy stops there. There's got to be. No, JK. That's funny. It's an interesting name. I will still do live sessions here, but the market reviews, where that's like the majority of the lessons are going to be and stuff like that, that's going to be membership only. These live sessions will still be here for free. But in the future, a lot of the chats are going to be membership only. So you'll still watch it if you want to. You just won't be able to chat, like ask questions or, you know, have fun with us when we, like yesterday, for example, we were dropping the gems and the emojis and all that. Like we were having a fun time. You just won't be able to participate in that. And that was kind of like the point of that. Like the point, I created what we have now. I created to have a place, to have a community of traders and business people, entrepreneurs or whatever, to learn markets, potentially trade markets, and, you know, have a lot of fun. That was the whole point. You know, smart money Stoics. That was the point of that. So you'll get some benefit, but it just won't be as much benefit as members who pay a small subscription. Okay. But yeah, let's see what we do here. At least on a 5-minute time frame. I think we just created highs right there too. And so I have no idea, bro. I have no idea. All I know right now is when I got into teaching, okay? When I finally gave in and got into being a teacher, eventually becoming a mentor in other areas or other aspects of life or whatever, personal development, mindset, all that. A little bit of health and wellness now too, to an extent. But, you know, I told myself, if you're going to do something, you have to give it 100% or nothing at all. It's either you're all in or all out. There's no half-ass doing this shit. I don't want to be a half-ass educator. I don't want to be a half-ass trader. I don't want to be a half-ass anything. So when I told myself I'm going to give 100%, that's what I'm going to give. So that's why when, you know, my content disappeared twice now, or when someone promotes a call and then cancels it the morning of, like, that's why that shit bothers me, because it gets in the way of education. It gets in the way of what I told myself I was going to be. So we got on YouTube. I got on YouTube, you know, that way you guys will never go without my content. You know, you may not have all of it. You may not have a lot of the core lessons that I've done in the past, but something is better than nothing at all. There's over 100 videos right now. There's over 100 videos right now at this point. And guess what? The majority of that's live sessions, and only like 3 of that is membership only videos. Only 3. And out of those 3, they're not even price action related. You know, so it was all rumored, like, oh, you're, you know, selling memberships now. And it's like, yeah, but it's not the same shit that I was doing. It's just you motherfuckers didn't ask. You didn't come to me and ask no shit. You just assumed. And you know what happens when you assume. How do you spell assume? A-S-S-U-M-E. So when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Guess where I learned that? Network marketing. So it's funny how sometimes the same lessons that you learn in network marketing, you fucking throw right back at them. That's crazy. You got to be authentic, bro. Oh, but you don't get to be. So I got to be authentic, and your students and the customers got to be authentic, but some other people just get to do shady shit, and that's it. You got to practice what you preach, bro. You got to practice what you preach. Oh, okay. So notice that Dow is lower here. Look at that lower high right there. NASDAQ has a higher high, and then S&P created equal highs. So that is a little interesting there. That is a little interesting. And then, you know, we come up on here and do shit like yesterday where we saw that gap and it got obliterated, right? So imagine blackballing someone like that. Imagine how much values customers could get from that. But it's like, no, I gotta bring my skills to YouTube because y'all want to fucking blackball me, bro. It's not cool. And it's worse when it's your own fucking people. That's what hurts the worst more than anything else. Be your own fucking people. Given the biggest breakthrough, I could found my own trading style. Things I wasn't able to read the market before because I had too much stuff in my mind and on my charts. Yeah, you don't want to clutter your mind, and you don't want to clutter up the charts either. No, Ali, I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything from anyone. That's why I keep telling y'all I don't know. I can't even give you a fucking answer because I don't have one. But at the end of the day, you guys come first, and that's never going to change. It doesn't matter where I go or what I do. I could be on Twitch, I could be on YouTube, I could go to A Economy, I could go wherever the fuck I want to go. And it doesn't matter. Anywhere I go, students will always come first, period. It doesn't matter what uniform I wear, what hat I wear, what company I may or may not work for, or I may not work for a company at all. It doesn't, none of that matters, okay? It was Seneca who said, it doesn't matter where you go as much as what type of person you are when you get there. So think about that. And that's a fire quote, just so you know. That is a fire quote. I got to find it now. I got to find that quote now. You guys got to give me a minute. It's in Letters from a Stoic. Let me see. Let me see. I got to turn the... Give me just 1 second. 2 seconds. All right, I'm back. Anyway, Letters from a Stoic by Seneca. Let me find this. Because I can always get close to the quote, but I can't ever say like word for word. I don't know why. Meeting minutes isn't giving us a lot of volatility just yet. Only a little bit. Where you arrive does not matter so much as what sort of person you are when you arrive there. Okay? Think about that. I'll say that one more time. Where you arrive does not matter so much as what sort of person you are when you arrive there. So that's what I'm saying, bro. When you learn values or you learn whatever, how to trade, when you have a skill set, you can do whatever you want after that. When you learn how to read price, you can trade whatever you want. Options, stocks, futures, Forex, commodities, whatever. Once you learn how to read price, you can do whatever the fuck you want. When you have a skill set, you can do whatever you want. If I was a plumber, right? Let's say I was a master plumber and I was working for a company that I didn't want to. It's like, dude, I can start my own shit. I can start my own shit as a master plumber. And I can just get the hell out of here. See ya. Right? And that's why I want you guys to have a skill set. Because then you can do whatever. There's a lot more we could do. We could talk about Seneca a little bit more, but it was just that specific quote I wanted you to understand. So yeah. Where you arrive does not matter as much as what type of person you are when you get there. Oh, look at that. 50 concurrent viewers. That's like an all-time high in the last couple months or so. You see, I told you we'd be breaking this channel out. I told you we'd be doing it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, especially after yesterday. Especially after yesterday, because we bodied yesterday. That was disgusting. Didn't even capture the whole day's move, and it was still enough. You know what I mean? But anyway, just be nice though. Be kind. You guys don't. That's one thing that I would never tell you to do. Okay, like don't specifically, bash a company or a certain person unless they've done some really, really fucked up shit. Then all right, if they did something very specific, then you have my permission to, if they're a goober, then all right, Maybe. But let's come back to this for a minute, and I'll get to the chat in just a second as well. When we made this higher high, I figured we might come back up to mitigate something, but I don't really see an imbalance in here either. So I felt like this might not be shortable here. I felt like that might not be the short, only because like it doesn't look great. You know what I mean? It doesn't look crispy. It doesn't look like Popeye's chicken or nothing like that. So that to me is may not be it. And it is hard to find a short when you have, we're going to take this off here. It is hard to find a short when you have highs on the S&P, and then just above those highs is the morning's high that we have potential buy stops at. So I would, again, still not do anything just yet. But yeah, if you guys got some value out of today so far, drop a like. I'd greatly appreciate that. And if you're new here, if you have not subscribed, then make sure you do that. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so that way you know when we go live here. And I just sent out another email earlier today. I skipped last week. I'm sorry. Mistake. It is what it is. No excuses. But I did send out a new one today. Just a quick update on the schedule and a quote from Marcus Aurelius, the one that I told you guys yesterday about to do the right thing and that the rest doesn't matter. And I actually got an email today from Neurocover, whatever it is called, and they updated the discount. So the discount went from 15% to 20%. So if you guys want to get an ice bath, I'm pretty sure the link is in the description. But yeah, it's now a 20% discount instead of 15%. So there's never been a cheaper time to get that portable ice bath, at least the same one that I have. All right. So not too much volatility again just yet. I mean, we got a little bit, but nothing crazy. I mean, that's only moved like 10 points, maybe 11 points. So that's not all that crazy. And I don't think anything else has really moved all that much either. So I guess we're just chilling for right now. I guess we're just chilling like a villain right now. But anyway, let me catch up on the chat. Dio, I appreciate the comment. Allie, I don't even know what he's done. I don't really pay attention to anyone outside of Trade House, to be honest. Grateful for you as well, Willow. So, Lewis, when it comes to the divergence, the bodies, okay, I prefer the bodies, but the wicks, you will see manipulation in the wicks. So if you backtest the divergence or relative strength, you'll see that sometimes you'll see it in the bodies and other times you'll see it in the wicks. I think sometimes it also varies on the time frame, because the 1 minute might be a divergence with the bodies, but the 5 minute it might be with the wick, because it took the 5 minute to run up and back down again, but the 1 minute actually showed a higher closure. So it varies. It varies on that. And so I think it's just going to be situational, but it's really both, I guess, if I had to say. Right? And look, guys, I appreciate that some of you believe that I'm a better educator than someone else. I appreciate that. I do. But again, we don't need to have, it's not a competition. I'm not here to I'm better than this or that. Like, I'm not here for that. Okay? It is appreciated. I like the gratitude, but I'm not here to be in competition with other educators or anything like that. I'm in here to, you know, teach you guys some stuff and to elevate, to grow your understanding about price and maybe a little philosophy and stuff like that. But I'm not here for the competition. Okay? If you want to go watch somebody else, go watch somebody else. You know what I mean? If you don't want to buy a membership, don't fucking buy one. You guys know that buying a membership supports me. You know that, right? Like 70% of that comes to me. So, you know, it's to support me, yeah, but it's not a requirement. Okay? So, there's that. They say that if you're for the people, that if you don't mind them, you're out of the group. Oh, yeah. Why do you think I played blackball yesterday on my story? You think I specifically, or like, you think I just randomly picked blackball from the Suffering from Success album? No. There's a reason I played that song, bro. You trade the metals sometimes. I haven't a lot this year. I traded gold, or no, silver. I took one trade on silver. I smacked the absolute fuck out of silver earlier this year. I put that on a reel as well because I recorded it. It was like a 1 minute mitigation and it ripped and ripped and ripped. It was crazy. That was the only trade I took on silver this year. You take too many trades. Well, just like I told the gentleman yesterday who asked about over leveraging, you know, how do you prevent yourself from over leveraging? Well, you need to have a max amount of risk. You need to set that rule for yourself and then abide by that rule. So if you take too many trades, then you need to, you know, if it were me, because it's not financial advice, but if it were me, if I took too many trades, I would limit my number. You know, what's the magic number for you? It could be 2, it could be 3, maybe 4, or maybe, you know, it could just be trade ideas because maybe you enter twice on a position. That may not count as 2 trades because you split up the entries. I mean, that's up to you. But I would have a max number of trades per day and per week. And then I would have a max loss percentage for the day and for the week. And then that hopefully should prevent you from over leveraging and taking too many trades. Now, if you break that rule, that's on you, and that's a discipline issue, and there's going to be a different remedy for that probably. Oh, I usually call you 2020. Yeah, well, because you had 2020 in your name, in your other name. Subs more of a gratitude thing than a paywall. Yeah, well, subscribing is free. Being a member, you know, that's gonna have a paywall. But again, it comes back to what I was saying earlier. YouTube was never meant to be a solo endeavor. Because I can promise you, if I was gonna come to YouTube and that was my intention, the max wouldn't have been $9.99. That is disrespectfully low. Because it wasn't for that. It was supposed to be to have a sniper and chat emojis and an occasional, you know, video to get a little bit extra juice. But, you know, people assume shit. And people talk a lot of shit too. You know, I hate talking like this because it makes me look like an asshole. But dude, everywhere I go, it doesn't matter what I do. Like, I always become either famous or infamous. Anywhere. High school, Navy, jobs, fucking network marketing, like whatever. Because people just talk, bro. People talk no matter what. And I know my name comes up in probably more conversations than I would hope for, you know, or that I would want to know. I don't want to know that shit. It's probably a lot. And I know people talk, oh, well, John's on YouTube. You know, what's up with that shit? He's running memberships now. Oh, what the fuck? You know, and then, you know, people complain to certain people or whatever. And then it gets, you know, to someone who actually has some power. And then they just assume the worst. And it's like, all right, well, fuck him. You know, they just assume the worst, bro. They're over here practicing premeditatio malorum. Whatever could go wrong is going to go wrong. And they just assume the worst. Catastrophic thinking. I teach you guys not to do that. Why do you think? Why do you think I tell you not to always assume the worst? Because then shit like this happens. You react instead of respond. You react instead of respond. And that's where you're going to get fucked up. Why do you think people who have anger issues always get in trouble? Because they react and they don't respond. Whereas if they just paused for a second, or maybe asked certain questions to clarify, if you act without clarification, if you act without all of the facts, that's what's going to get you in trouble. That's what's going to get you in trouble, dude. A John Fib memoir? I don't know about that. And there is no snitch. There's nothing to snitch on. It's just, I think people got the wrong message. I think they got the wrong message. Because they just assume the worst. You know, my exes did that shit too. Oh, well, John, I heard you cheated. Really? Where's your fucking proof? To this day, show me proof. Oh, well, you know, but he said, she said, no, bitch, show me some proof. Do you have text? Do you have images? Do you have videos? Do you have any of that shit? I can guarantee you don't. I'd put like 50,000 on the fact that you don't. You know why you don't have proof of me cheating? Because I never cheated. But again, people assume the worst. And they go off of information that is bad or incomplete. And that happens a lot, bro. It's happened to me for a long time. For a long time, people have always assumed that. Okay. Fuck it then. Fuck it. You think I'm this or you think I'm that? All right, cool. I'll just leave. Fuck it. Oh, yeah. And I could say some really, really damaging shit. You don't think after being in one company for over 3 years that I don't know some shit? Oh, I know some shit. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I know some shit. But I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. Not today, at least. Not today. No, no, no. We're gonna keep it somewhat we're gonna keep it somewhat professional today. And I'm not gonna do that. All right, see, look at that. Look at that NASDAQ. See, I mean, it gave an initial reaction and then it came right back up here again. So even if we did short that, I mean, it barely went your way and then immediately against you. So I think it's very hard to justify shorts on the NASDAQ for right now. ES, it's still hard for me. I'm still reluctant to short, especially now that we have equal highs. So it may come down to the last hour. Not entirely sure yet. And right now, price is in the middle of a range too. Look, if you're expecting higher pricing, okay. But if you're expecting 41.11, price right now is in between both. So to me, that's just low probability. And now my stomach hurts because I haven't eaten today. I keep doing that. I keep like, oh, I'll just eat later. And then now my stomach's like touching my back right now. My stomach is high-fiving my backbone right now. You know what I'm saying? Worst meeting minutes ever, yeah. Simon, I talk about divergence all the time. I have a video. I have more than one video actually on my channel that I specifically talked about relative strength analysis is the term. Even though it is a divergence, yes, but you get to that by conducting relative strength analysis. Appreciate that, Felix. So let me ask you this. Use some context there. Use some context. Why is it? Okay? Let me ask, I'm not going to answer this question, but I do want you to think about something real quick. Okay? Why do you think students, right? Students have gratitude, right? Students do. But that's it. Just students. Just students, no one else. The students love me, but I don't get invited to do Zoom calls. Why not? If so many students are grateful for John, why do I not get invited to go do shit? Think about that. It's an interesting thing to think about, huh? Oh, yeah. Well, damn. All these calls are going on. All these flyers are everywhere, but yet John's not on them. These emails that get shot out. Oh, John's not on any of those. Why? Think about that. Then just think about it. Don't think too hard, though. Look, it comes back to that whole idea of actions speak louder than words do. You guys prove action by showing up here. We got 40 something people on. It fluctuates, but it's like 47 or 48 people on the call, right? Which is higher than it's been recently. So you guys, you show appreciation by the comments, but you show your action by actually being here. You know what I mean? So your actions speak louder than your words do. When you guys like the reels or you like the stories, I can see all that. I can see all that. So I know. I had over 700 entries in the last 2 years for feedback on my channel. Over 700 entries. Now, mind you, yeah, a lot of it, not a lot of it, but I mean, a good amount was repeated students because you can comment more than once. But think about that. That's over 700 entries. Okay? 700 entries. Still don't get invited to Zoom. Don't get invited to nothing. Again, blackballed. But that's okay. As long as you guys are learning and you guys are growing in your understanding, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Because that's why I got into this. I didn't get into this for the fucking posters and, you know, the rank ups and all that shit. I didn't get into that shit for this. Okay? The flyers. I didn't get into this for flyers. I've had one photo for my flyers this entire time because I don't take more photos for flyers. No, I didn't have that Zoom call, JK. That was canceled. Well, I was canceled, not the call. They still ran the call, but they did it without me. No. Christian, that I'm telling you that they did the call, but they did it without me. Yeah, Willow. A lot of you still don't know that. That's what Smart Money Stoics Part 3 is, because I still ran that call, but I did it myself. I didn't make that decision. Process of elimination, bro. Think about it. If there's 2 people on a flyer and one of them didn't cancel, do some basic process of elimination, bro. Was thinking you would get more exposure? No. Nope. They don't trust me. They don't trust me. They don't trust an educator who puts students first. Yikes. Yeah, I fucking said it. I don't give a fuck. They don't trust a person who puts students first. Simple as that. So, you know, and again, that does make me feel very disappointed when a few of my ex-girlfriends, right? Oh, you cheated on me. You don't trust me because you have no proof and you listen to someone else's bullshit. And now it's the same shit, but in the corporate world. Oh, John, well, we think this, we think that. You don't trust me. You don't trust me when all I've done is teach people the things that I know. That's all I've done. But you know what, man? I'm not here to convince and argue and all that fuckery. I'm not here for that. I walked away from my job in 2019 for that same reason, because I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of it, dude. I have to prove to you that I'm this or that I'm that, as if I, you know, didn't have over 700 comments, as if my book didn't go #1 in 2021. Like, what other fucking proof do you need? That I was on another channel for over 2 years, not even getting paid for it? Well, part of the time, not the entire time. Like, what do you mean? And I'm not going to sit here and argue for that. I'll just go to YouTube. Simple as that. I'm going right to the students. I'll give you guys the business. How about that? Fuck all that other shit. Some of the trade house guys, even if you're no longer in the company. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, trade house is going to be my family no matter what. Well, maybe not everybody in trade house, but, or that reps trade house, but yeah. Zach Jordan, that's my family right there. Daniel, Iffy, Rock, Siva, that's my family right there. Mike Miles, it's my family. I would do anything for them. And they would probably do anything for me too. But, you know, I don't have any problems with any of them at all. So don't get the message twisted, all right? Don't get the message twisted. Those are my guys. Oh man. I've been trying to talk to you. I've been trying to see what the S&P is gonna do. I was hopefully trying to see some movement today. So, but it does look like we're gonna be in the last hour, and it looks like Dow, I think, is gonna be the leader to the downside, at least from the price action perspective. So we'll keep that alert here, and we'll just have to watch. We'll have to wait and see. We might take a small break though, so I can grab something to eat, and then we can probably come back for the final hour and see if there's any movement there. You don't make them call to hash it out. There's some type of misunderstanding. It's always a misunderstanding. I've only got so many misunderstandings left in me, bro. You know what I mean? Look. I've told you guys since the fucking jump. Ever since y'all have known me, I say this all the time. Sometimes I'm a very impatient trader. I'm an impatient trader, bro. I want the market to go my way fast. I don't want to spend a lot of time in drawdown. I want the market to full sprint to my TP. I'm impatient. Okay? So what makes you think I want to sit here and have the same fucking arguments, the same misunderstandings with the same people over and over again? That shit gets boring, bro. Memento Mori. Remember that you will die. You think I want to be on my deathbed one day if I ever make it there? And I'm, sitting in the hospital and I'm, surrounded by family and nurses, and I'm going, you know what? I'm glad I spent a lot of time having the same arguments over and over again. That's the best way to spend my life. Being frustrated and all that shit. Does that sound like something you want? Or something that I would want? I want to be on my deathbed going, it's been a good life, man. We taught a bunch of people how to trade. We made a bunch of money, changed a bunch of lives. I did everything I wanted to do. I gave everybody my all, and, people didn't like it. Fuck them, whatever. You gotta live with the end in mind, man. You gotta do things with the end in mind. Sometimes people don't get that. A lot of people in the Navy didn't get that either. Like, oh, you gotta do 20 years. 20 years? Bro, one sexual assault allegation, your ass is grass. They don't even have to have proof. The Navy won't say that shit either. You get one, especially a female. If you get a female that goes to up the chain of command and says, oh, this person sexually assaulted me, they don't even have to have proof, and you're fucking done. No retirement, no none of that shit. Just the allegation alone, and your ass is grass. All these people that got like 15, 17 years in, they got a medical folder that's as thick as these two books put together, walking around limping, knees all busted, back broken. I'm like, I'm supposed to stay in for 20 years and end up like that? I don't think so. So I didn't want that. Definitely didn't want that. So the Dow did not make a lower low there. The Nasdaq's kind of back up here again. We're going to take this off. And again, like I feel like if we shorted, this would be frustrating. If we shorted that, right? It's like, oh, drawdown. Oh, back to the entry. And now it's like, oh, back up again. Like, damn. Think about how frustrating that is. It's very give and take right here. That might be a break of structure to the upside. But that's like 1 minute. That's like small time frame. I wouldn't necessarily be long until I would have wanted to see probably a run first. And the only low that we ran was this one. So I don't know. I'm not sure. So again, we'll give it more time. But yeah, back to the point. A lot of people live or they do things and they don't have the end in mind. It's a lot of short term. No, no, that's not always the best way. You know what? When I explained to you guys last week or the other week when I told you about my last job and I was ready to walk away and I did, right? I walked away because I put myself in a position to walk away. Big, or not, I don't want to say big, but I mean, a few different trading accounts, a little bit of cash on the side, like, I don't need to make money today or tomorrow or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need that. So when I was in the Navy, I did save up a lot of money too. So it's like, all right, I don't need to be here anymore. And at that job I had, I didn't need to be there either. So it's like, look, as soon as I get frustrated or impatient, I'm out the door. Because now what is it called? I mean, I guess you could say the law of diminishing returns. It's like, at first, this was awesome. Speaking of the job in 2019 or 2018, whatever, it's like, okay, I'm making money. This is cool. I'm happy. There's no drama. Like, this is great. But then once the drama starts and, I'm not happy anymore, I didn't make enough money that the money that I made there was not enough for me to stay through the drama and through the bullshit, is what I'm saying. And at a certain point, you will get that way as well. It's better to be happy with less money than it is to be miserable and rich. And a lot of people may not agree with that. You're like, oh, John, fuck that. I'd rather be miserable with $100,000. I'd rather be miserable with $1 million. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because a lot of the people who have that would rather not. A lot of the people who have ridiculous money, they look at other people going, damn, he's happy. How do I be like that? Dude has like no money, but he's happy. Right. That's what you want to strive for. Ideally both. Right? Money in wealth in the eyes of the Stoics is a preferred indifferent. Okay? Not that I wanted to get into Philosophical Friday, but here we are. A preferred indifferent is basically, there's indifference and then preferred indifference, and wealth is one of those where it's like, you don't have to have, in the eyes of the Stoics, you don't have to have wealth to be happy. But if you could have happiness and wealth, that's a good thing, right? So it's the same idea. Happiness is what most people want. Wealth is also what most people want. And I think I'm pretty in alignment with the Stoics on this one. If you could have both, that's even better. But they don't always come together in the same package. Okay? Like you might think, oh, well, if I have a funded account, I'll be happy. Or, if I can have a certain amount of money in my bank account, I'll be happy. No, you won't be. You might be for a brief moment. Oh man, I finally made, or, I finally put away $5,000 for an emergency fund. I'm happy. Okay, well, a couple weeks later or a few months later, it's not going to mean the same to you. Now you're going to want 10. When you get to 10, you're going to want 15. When you get to 15, you're going to want 20. And it's just it's a moving goalpost. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with a lot of other things. It's a moving goalpost. So coming back to my original point. If you can put yourself in a position where you don't have to be somewhere, then you can just leave. It may not always be what you want. I didn't want to leave that job. I didn't want to leave. I mean, I liked the money and it was cool. It was actually good exercise as well. I didn't want to leave 100%, but they basically forced me out. I'm like, dude, you're arguing about shit that is unnecessary. And it's not worth what you pay me. You know, I was getting paid like, I think it was like 13 or 13.50 an hour. I'm like, you don't pay me enough to sit here for this shit. So yeah, I just ended that. I was like, I'm done. And I put my peace of mind above that income. Fuck them. But, you know, the quote I shared in my email and the quote I shared yesterday from Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. This is actually the Penguins Classics version. I don't prefer this one, but I picked it up, you know, and just looked at it anyway. But I shared that in the email as well as yesterday. Just that you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter. So as long as you do the right thing, the rest truly does not matter. So, but anyways, I forgot where I was in the chat. Spiritual nuggets, I have no idea. I should bring Zach or Jordan on here if they want to be. I'm sure they would if I asked. Hard to believe. Person that hosts those calls doesn't move how he presents himself. Thought y'all would get along well because of similar mindsets. No. No. Look, nobody's perfect, man. Nobody's perfect. And that's just how it is. But, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right. I am starting to think if we, well, the 5 minute looks kind of rough. I think if we leave this and we leave an imbalance somewhere here, that may be along to go higher for the buy stops here. And then if so, maybe 31.35 or 41.35, excuse me. But just like some of the previous times on this stream, when I tell you guys, you know, we want to see how price responds at like a new high or a new low. And that's going to be here too. How we respond at that high, I think is going to say a lot. And right now, I'm just not getting a clear idea of what price wants to do. Finding that balance or finding that balance, I think is key to success in trading. Can be miserable starting or staring at charts all day, trying to force trades or make as much as the next person, but being content with enough. Yeah. Well, that's hard. People don't want to be content. And that's part of why, or that's part of the reason why I believe social media has helped damage society, not just in attention span, but in expectations. There's an old saying, keeping up with the Joneses. And that's a real thing. And I don't think that'll ever change. You know, we live in a very, at least in America, we live in a hyper consumerism or hyper consumerist society. We consume every fucking thing. And it's for a lot of people, it's competition. They want the cleanest flyers. They want the shiniest cars, or they want the better entries. And that's probably me, to be honest. They want the bigger lot sizes or the more followers on Twitter and Instagram. That's probably me a little bit too. I won't lie to you, but you know, not everything has to be a competition. And when people waste their time, energy, and money in a competition that doesn't even matter to everyone else, that's where you fuck up. That's where you fuck up. You try to keep up with people that you can't physically afford to keep up with. That's where people go wrong. So don't be like that. Well, my neighbor bought a car, so I got to buy one too. No, you don't. No, you don't. well, this person, you know, their flyer is really awesome. I need a better flyer. I mean, well, that might be true, but it's not necessary. You don't need that. I'm just trying to give you some quick examples that I know off the top of my head, but yeah, man. I'm just tired. Just like I explained last week, I'm just tired. That's all. The more time, energy, and money that we spend on drama and competition, the less time, energy, and money that the students are able to get, and that's not good. So it is what it is, but I'm here on YouTube. You don't have to worry about it. You can download videos if you guys know how to do that. You know, if there's a video that you like, and if you're worried about it being taken down, or if you're worried about me removing it, just use one of those third-party websites that you can download YouTube videos. Download it, and then you'll have it forever. You know what I mean? You can do that. All right. We have 10 minutes, actually 8 and some change, until the final hour. So I'll be with you guys, I guess, the last hour. And then we'll let it go. It's Wednesday. I got a lot of stuff to do today as well that I didn't get done. I haven't journaled today. I haven't read any of the books that I have right now. I haven't read anything yet. So, I mean, a little bit of meditations, but not another book that I haven't already read. So I got to catch up on that this evening. I got to eat first, then I'll catch up on the other stuff. Oh yeah, well, I already knew that. We practically, you know, set the stage for everyone else to make a boot camp after we launched ours. You know, a lot of people took that list I put out too. That list of mentors that I put out before everyone else. You know, a lot of people took that like it was theirs. I'm like, dude, I get taking a concept or something like that, but ripping off a specific list, like, holy shit, that's a new level of of thefts right there. But that's all right. What do you expect on the internet, man? What do you expect? All right, Allie, have a good one. Have a good one. But yeah, I remember 2019, 2020 was a crazy time. I think there was more courses put out that year than probably any previous year, like by far. But it's cool. I'm glad I got to be a part of that. I'm glad I got to be a part of that. It was a great time. It was super fun too. So Alex, interesting name there, but the only thing I own is what I have here on YouTube and my book, of course. That is what I have control over, which is why I got back on YouTube in the first place. The only entity that can take down my YouTube is YouTube. So the only way this channel will come down. Ooh, a little bit of volatility there at the corner of my eye. The only way my YouTube channel will be taken down is if one, YouTube decides to take it down, but I'm not big enough for that. Like you got to really be, you got to have like a few million subs and then be all conspiracy theory type and they'll rip your shit off. I'm not that big. Or number two, I get 3 copyright strikes. Then YouTube automatically takes your channel down. But I don't, that's why I play non-copyright music. I don't do anything on purpose to get a copyright strike. So there's a difference between like cuz people, and I can do this too. I used to do this a lot. I don't do it anymore. But if I play, like if we did a stream here for almost 2 hours. Now, if I accidentally played music, like 1 or 2 songs that happen to be copyright, YouTube or whoever the copyright holder is, they could say, hey, this is in your video, but we'll allow you to have it. So if that video ends up being monetized, which most of my live streams aren't, if that video stays up and is monetized, the music, whoever owns the copyright to that music will get the royalties from the stream. Versus like, oh, hey, you used our music, that's a copyright strike. So then YouTube will tell you, hey, you got to take it down or whatever. But a lot of the music, they don't do that. They just allow you to have it, but you just won't be monetized. Does that make sense? So that's why I try to play copyright free music so I don't get any type of strikes at all. But I don't monetize the live streams. You guys, let me ask you this. Do you guys get ads on this live stream? Because I think I have monetization off. So there shouldn't be ads. Okay, yeah. See, a lot of you said no. Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought about it. I'm like, should I put ads in my live stream? But then what happens if the entry comes up and then you get a fucking ad? You know what I mean? Or something important comes up and then you get an ad for something. Like I feel bad. And then on top of that, I don't know if members also would get an ad, right? Because then that's not fair. It's like, all right, let's say I monetize the live stream, right? So then non-members get ads, fine. But if members get ads too, then it's like, well, what are they paying for then? You know, like it defeats the purpose of a membership almost. Because I can tell you, if I was a member of someone's channel and I still got ads, I'd be fucking upset. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, I pay, but I still get ads. So that's, I don't run ads for that reason. I mean, I could turn them on. It's only a couple buttons away. I could do it. So let me see the skippable video ads. Let me just try something real quick. All right, let me know if you guys get an ad. It should be like a non or a skippable one. So let me know if you guys see something here very soon. If you get like a small ad, let me know. I'll give you guys a minute to look at that. Or to see, to find out. We're gonna We're going to mess around and find out today. And we're just going to fix this because this went from how do we react there to now we have equal highs there. So did you, so you guys didn't get an ad yet? Because it says I can insert the ad. But I don't know what it does on your end. I only see what I see on my end. Not yet? All right. Interesting enough. All right, it said ad inserted. Maybe it's for the recording then. I don't know, dude. I'm new to all of this shit. I don't know. I don't know. Oh shit. Okay. Ad serving is not guaranteed and some viewers may not get an ad. All right. Well, that's very helpful, YouTube. That's very helpful. All right, I guess we'll come back tomorrow and see what happens then. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. All right, so Dow. I mean, Dow looks like it wants to trade below this morning's low. Or that's actually lunch low, excuse me. So the Dow looks like that. And now the NASDAQ is finally taking off a little bit. But it's just, that's very give and take though. But here's the issue. The issue now is the time constraint. Because now we're in the final hour and expecting a run lower and then a run higher is asking for a lot. RJ says, I'm going to be mad as hell trying to watch the recording and having to go through 2 ads back to back. Today, I wouldn't watch today's recording. We haven't done anything today. All I did was talk a little bit of shit earlier. Because nothing is really stuck out to me. I mean, we lined out a potential run on highs or a run on lows, and we haven't gotten either one. You go live every day? Yeah, Alicia, the schedule is on. It's in an email I sent out. It's on my page as well. Yeah, it's Monday. I don't know at the top of my head. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Something like that. You got an ad when you rewatch this? Oh, nice. I probably made like half a penny on that. Or that might just be YouTube in general. I don't know. It's hard to say. It is hard to say. Opened the stream on my phone and got an ad for Mod Pizza and the Baltimore Orioles. Well, I don't know what that is. Is that baseball or hockey or some shit? Mod Pizza. That's funny. John Phibbs, sponsored by Mod Pizza. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, it is baseball? Okay. Okie dokie. So the NASDAQ, I think, is just now trading below that low. All right, well, here we are. Here's the final hour. We're at 41.17. The lows are at 41.11 and a half. We have some highs at 41.26 and 41.31, and potential buy stops at 41.35. What do you think? What do you guys think? Yeah, I didn't toggle the non-skippable, like the ones that Twitch have. Oh my god, especially when they have like five non-skippable ads, dude. That shit is annoying. Arby's. We have the meats. I'm like, bro, I just had lunch. I'm just trying to watch the streamer right now. Like, what's going on? The fuck? Imagine not having YouTube Premium. Because there's a way I get paid from that too, from YouTube Premium. So I guess if you have YouTube Premium and you watch, I think that supports me a little bit as well. But it's not a lot. I can tell you that. I can say that for a fact. It's not a lot. We were trying to watch John Fib and then get interrupted. Couldn't be me. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I get it. I kind of want to paper this, to be honest. But we have a bunch of higher lows here. And it's hard for me to be convinced this is our low. It would be much better if we didn't do that. Because look at that. Oh, that's slightly lower. Is that? Shit, I can't even tell. So slightly lower on NASDAQ, slightly higher on S&P. So that, I guess the low might be set. I wouldn't trade this live though. There's a small imbalance right here. We would probably need to push past that if we're going to trade through the highs. Right here. So I'm saying price would need to be able to push past this imbalance and then probably go higher if it's going to do that. At least on a 1 minute. Everything else kind of doesn't look all that great. And there's a 5 minute gap right there too. I mean, it's not really anything crazy, but it is right there. So if we get past that, I think that frees up the upside. But yeah, if we do get volatility, if we do get enough, we could be sent up here. Yeah, just like the other day when we were looking at the NASDAQ. I think that was Friday of last week. You remember that? We had that 5 minute gap. I was like, we need to get past that if we're going to go higher. And we struggled around that gap. Well, you see that same phenomenon right here. That 5 minute gap, 1 minute imbalance, it needs to get above that for me to believe that we would go to the highs. Okay. Appreciate that for posting the schedule. I'll pin that actually. I will appreciate, or I'll pin that. I appreciate it. So when there's some sort of imbalance or other concept that may potentially go against you, would you wait until it goes past it, even though there's a potential entry to go higher? I'm trying to understand that question. Balance on a concept that may potentially go against you. You would wait until it goes past it, even though there's a potential entry to go higher. Not necessarily. I mean, if I straight up wanted to long this, I mean, I guess it would probably be like an imbalance here. But the problem that I'm having is we have a target here, right? If I can find an eyeball. We have a high probability target. We have 3 actually, because we have those highs, and then that one specific high up here. But the problem that I'm having is I don't necessarily trust that this is our low, because we've had a low, a higher low, a higher low, a higher low. Whereas if you remember from the Dow yesterday, we had that specific setup. We had that gap within the imbalance, within the mitigation, after a higher high had been created. So we know the stops were ran. But I'm not getting that vibe that we ran stops here. Not on S&P, but we did, it looks like, on NASDAQ. But the Dow, to me also, I'm not convinced that the Dow has set a low. It could, but I'm saying I'm not convinced enough to take a live trade that the low has been set. So what I'm saying now is, all right, maybe we did set the low. Maybe this higher low on the S&P against NASDAQ, maybe that is accumulation. Okay, well, show me then. Show me some evidence that this bearish imbalance would be disrespected. So I'm essentially going, if I was bearish, I would short that, but I'm not going to short it because we have highs up here. So in order for me to be convinced enough to place a trade, and the market may not do this, but we need to get above the imbalance, then maybe get a retracement, and then send us up there, is what I'm saying. Right? Like show me a willingness to trade up there. And that's kind of what I'm waiting for. So our low could be set. And we've already justified longs, and we've disqualified shorts. Right? One of the smart money rules is I don't short when there's equal highs. So if we're bullish, it needs to trade above that gap and above the imbalance, and then I'd be convinced. But again, it's just difficult. Today's is just a little bit more difficult than yesterday. But those highs are clean, though. Both of these highs are very clean. We have 2 minutes left in this 5-minute candle, so let's see where we close at. But it does look like it's pushing through that gap, and definitely through the imbalance. So if you were bearish right now, I'd be shaking it. I'd be going, oh shit. You know what I mean? I'd be going, uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. This is actually going to be the close of the 15-minute as well on this next 5-minute candle. But yeah, see, now we've broken through that gap here. Now I'm convinced that it's going to want to run for these highs and possibly these highs. But I don't want to just buy it here. I would want a retracement if a retracement is offered. So you have that gap here, and you have a lower imbalance here. Okay, or I could just say, you know what, screw it, and I'll just run the highs. That's possible too. Let me just check the NASDAQ real quick. Yep, right back up. Glad we didn't short that. And the Dow, I could probably see some of these highs be obliterated. So again, we'll give it a little bit more time. Yeah, that 5-minute, this 5-minute candle right there has now obliterated that gap. So good thing we weren't shorting that. Good thing we were not shorting that. Any other questions you guys have? Am I on paper still? Yeah. I'm on paper. Well, if it runs the highs first, I probably wouldn't touch it. But if it does drop back down, there's a small gap on the 2 minute there. Because again, I don't want to long as it's going up. That's usually not all that advantageous. But there's a small gap right there. Okay, and I'll make this one darker just to differentiate the two. But yeah, that looks pretty clean. And it might, again, it might run the highs without offering a retracement. And what are you really going to do? Unless you bought like right there, but that's difficult. And I probably wouldn't have done that. So now we have 216. So we have 44 minutes left in a day, or 43 and some change left in a day. So again, 41.31 I think is on the table, and 41.35 I think could be on the table as well. So I'm just going to mark up, well, those have been marked up, but I want to put some alerts there as well. Okay. So now, I guess 41.11 may not be on the table for today. If it were me, on your chart, I would screenshot this. So that way we see what what happens, what transpires between now and the end of the day. But yeah, it is a little interesting. We just didn't get a lot of volatility today, but it is funny that we created highs. But again, just like this whole time, I just wasn't convinced this was the low. And even if I thought it was, it doesn't even trade into that imbalance at all here. And I didn't really see an opportunity there. So it didn't offer anything for me personally. Maybe it offered something for you, but it didn't offer anything for me. And I sure as shit don't want to buy it as it's going up. So, what are you going to do? So now with some speed, it'll probably head up there now. 41.31 and probably 41.35. The 5 minute, man, I was hoping we get some sort of mitigation, but it doesn't really look like it. At least not in the traditional sense that I look for. All right, so watch that 31 level. We kind of kissed it, but we haven't traded above that yet. Oh, there's your 41.31. It's only 218. Still got 40 minutes left in the day. So look, days like today will happen. You'll see some highs, you'll see, an easy target, and sometimes it may not get you in. It may not present the model that you like to use, or it may, just not give you a chance. Or it may give you a chance, but maybe one that you didn't see. And you know what? That's part of it. That's part of it, dude. Sometimes I can't, do something. Sometimes there is nothing for me to do. Look at the NASDAQ, booming. Right? Dow, look at that, booming. Right? Way past that high. If anything, the Dow's the one who had the opportunity. at 208. There's an imbalance here. And, well, this didn't take a lower low, but that is a small time frame mitigation right there too. So in hindsight, that was the play, was Dow. But we missed it. I missed it. I don't know what to tell you. There's 31.35 that we outlined at the beginning of the stream 3 hours ago. You know what I mean? So what do you do with that? Well, I try to give you a bias so that way if you at least trade in alignment with that, it gives you some direction. Right? I outlined 2 hours ago. Yeah, a little over 2 hours ago, 41.35, right? Because of those buy stops. You remember London? We talked about London, right? You might not trade London. I don't trade London, but that's okay. Somebody did. And you know what? We waited, and then what did I say? Final hour might give us some volatility because we haven't saw anything yet. And look what we got. In the final hour, we got our volatility to where? The level that we outlined, 41.35, to move against anyone who's been short and has been holding on too long. Okay? So look, maybe you didn't trade it. Okay. That's all right. But you don't think watching the S&P, fly up higher to where we thought it was going to go, you don't think that's still a good thing? That's still going to be experience. That's still going to be something that you watched beforehand. It's just, look, sometimes you don't get an entry. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it just takes off. And, that's it. There's nothing else to do there. So the S&P, I think, was great. It's a phenomenal move. NASDAQ, well, it didn't really offer anything either that I see. The only one that offered something was Dow. Look at that. Lower low, higher high. There's your break of structure, imbalance, boom. So it's okay. We missed it. I missed it. Didn't take anything today. And that's that. But hopefully you guys still enjoyed watching it. Did you guys enjoy it at least? Let's start a poll. Let's ask the community. Did you guys at least enjoy watching the S&P? Didn't present an opportunity, but it still ran to where we thought it was going to go. To me, and again, I'm not like trying to brag or anything, but that to me is some value, dude. If I could watch somebody that was outlining shit before it was happening, I would watch it all the time, even if we don't get something offered, because I would want to see that in real time going, okay, well, why is he saying this? Why is he saying that? And if it happens more time than it doesn't, oh yeah, I would tune into their shit all the time. All the time. But that's how I would take today. If I was a brand new student and I didn't know much, I would try to take it for what it is and go, okay, sure, we weren't offered anything, but we still got, a run on some buy stops, right? So let me put it to you this way. If your bias is long, at least you avoid shorts, right? Because what happens here, right? We outlined this imbalance, right? But we didn't outline that as a bearish opportunity, right? What did we say back there? Right in here, what did I say? Price needs to push through that. Not respect it and go lower. Price needs to push past that, right? Not, hey guys, short that. No. No. One of the smart money rules. Don't short when there's equal highs. Well, why not? Well, look at that. You're shorting into a market that does that? Is that what you want to do? Because I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to do that. So again, those rules being placed in action, right? Seeing those rules and why they exist to prevent you from taking shorts in a bullish market, potentially. All right. But yeah, our targets have been hit. Let's see if we got, oh shit. Let's see if we got any movement on currencies. Well, the euro moved a little bit. Barely. The British pound really didn't do anything. Now we have highs and lows, so that's a yikes. Oh shit, New Zealand. New Zealand. Oh my heavens. That's got to be one of the worst days for the New Zealand dollar since February. Good grief. It's down 2.3%. New Zealand dollar. And I had that, I think I marked this up earlier today. Because I definitely did not trade that, but yikes for Australia or New Zealand as well as Australian. And then I guess dollar is up. That makes sense. Let me take a brief look at SPY and whatever else. All right. So we didn't get 408.87, even though those are still lows. So those will still be there. Click the stream on my phone and skippable ad play. Yeah, well, I turned on skippable ads a little bit later because I wanted to see if you guys got them because I can insert them myself. I could probably insert a non-skippable ad too, but that's just going to piss y'all off. It'll probably be some bullshit too, like dominoes or something. I don't know. I don't control that. It'd be funny to see though. So yeah, I mean, it just looks like the indices are coming back to their respective gaps. And to be fair, yeah, I guess there wasn't really anything that I saw. I guess I just missed it. That's a nice bullish candle though for today on the S&P. Look at that. So, all right. Well, look, we've been here for 2.5 hours. I've been here for this long. I haven't eaten today yet. I haven't journaled. I haven't read. I haven't done anything. So if you guys will allow me to go do that. Oh, silver hasn't moved. Gold hasn't moved either. I'm going to go take care of a few things. So hopefully in the last 2.5 hours, you were able to learn something. Hopefully you got value. Look, there's like 30 something. I think we topped out at like 50 today. We got almost 50 members. We had 50 people on earlier today. And that's awesome. That means we are growing. It means we're getting a little bit of traction. And I like that. We were stagnant for a little bit. And let's hopefully not get back to that. Hopefully let's continue to grow this. We are so close to 50 members. We're at like 45 or 48. Like we're close. All right. If you got value out of today, if you haven't liked today's stream already, drop a like. I would greatly appreciate that. I think right now we have more likes than we have viewers. So that's cool. And if you are brand new here, subscribe to the channel. That way you don't skip out on anything in the future. You get whatever else I'll put out. All right. So thank you. I'll always put students first, Naruto. That'll never change. That'll never change. Thanks, Lewis. Appreciate that. Good vibes from Maximiliano. Thank you. And 17 votes, 94% of you said you enjoyed watching the S&P. So that's good. That's good. It's better than any college grade I ever got. So we will leave it at that. All right. So stay blessed. I will see you guys Thursday. We don't have an afternoon stream. We have the evening stream. So 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, we will do our next market review. So be blessed. And I will see you then.
like a volcano. Another day to lose control. There's a fire in my bones. My sight gets blurry, pushing back the tears. Should take a leap of faith and face my fear. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end. Holding out, but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano.